Hello and welcome to the second look. Happy Monday to you. This is Back of the Net. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
We're an AFC Bournemouth fan channel and a fan of Luton Town. After we've come together, you know who we don't like? Nottingham Forest. After some of their horrible tweets to us saying that we almost threw the game and all this kind of stuff. I mean, yes, I know we like the Hatters, but we wouldn't do that. You know what? If we're going to lose to someone, lose to them, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's such a mad statement to make after we come back from 3-0 down against them, like put everything into beating them. But, yeah, you know, obviously David's side, Forest, if they want to go down, they can go down, not a problem. But yeah, listen, it was a disappointing one from Bournemouth's perspective, but, you know, Luton probably done enough in the end, I think. They showed how much it meant and, yeah, deserve that late winner.
There were some tweets from Forest fans that we need to pull up during this show. But before the game, there was a whiff, a scent, a distinct aroma, a pong of Europe. And by full time, we, as Cherries fans, we wanted it to reek. We wanted there to be a stench. But as it happens, we didn't get a sniff. Apart from our opener from Marcus Tavernier, it was all Luton after that. And of course, Luton knows how to beat Cherries at home. That's a nose joke, as in sniffing.
Yeah, no, very good.
But Tom, though, yeah, it's a tough one to take, really. But I suppose a taste of our own medicine, really, because Luton Town know exactly what that's like.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because I love going to Kenilworth Road, Luton away, but the last two times we've lost literally right at the death, which is a strange one. But yeah, as you say, Matt, I thought we'll dive into it, obviously, but I thought we started quite well. And I thought, we're a bit better than Luton. And you could see that in every aspect. And once we took the lead, I thought, right, but to their credit, probably learned from last time. They thought, rather than going gun-ho because we need to win, let's be a little bit more intelligent. And I thought they were. They kept themselves in the football match. And it meant that when the latter stages come, they were going to have that little bit extra because of how much it meant. And, you know, credit to Rob Edwards and Luton for seeing out that, particularly first half, where we could have been a few ahead, really, with our not necessarily shots on goal, but the little transitions and breaks and that we had through Cliver, etc. were, yeah, we looked at a lot more dangerous than they did. But Carlton Morris and a few others stepped up for him in the second half. If
you're brand new here to the YouTube channel, there's a certain thing you can do involving a thumb, right, Tom?
Yeah, click that thumb. It's a like button. That really helps us. Click subscribe while you're there. Really appreciate that. A little bell if you want to know when our videos are out too.
And if you're listening via the audio pod, you can leave us a review. We would be totally appreciative of it. Like every podcast, this episode of The Back of the Net Second Look is sponsored by Greene King Sport, where football is more than a game.
Yeah, make Greene King your go-to destination for the season's final stretch. Why? Well, for one, you can watch every televised Cherries game, down with delicious food and refreshing beverages. And with 900 sports clubs dotted around the UK, chances are you're within walking distance of your local Greene King.
Yeah, and let's be honest, football and watching it is way better when it's with friends and family. So get the squad together for every televised Premier League fixture in an atmosphere worth sharing. I think Bournemouth's game against Man United is live on Sky, so there's one to look forward to. So all the games include huge title showdowns, the race for European qualification. Is that us? And nail-biting relegation six-pointers.
Yeah, and don't forget to download the Greene King Sport app too to enjoy exclusive competitions and discounts whenever there's a game on.
So here's the league table then, Tom. We thought we were going to be a bit closer than what we were. Now, I need to have full disclosure to you at home in your ears, whether you're watching on YouTube. I wasn't there.
I don't want to hear it again.
So what happened, right? I woke up feeling well dodgy on Saturday morning. I think I had a bit of vertigo.
What's that? Is it you too that had the song Vertigo?
Yeah, it was, yeah. And it was just like really dizzy, and I've got these tablets, and anyway, it sorted me out. So, of course, I listened on Radio Soul, and I didn't watch an illegal stream. No. Of course I didn't do that. But it was good to listen and see what was going on at Kenilworth Road. And at one point, I was just saying, look, if West Ham managed to get an equaliser, we got up to 9th here, Tom.
Yeah, cheers for putting that.
As it was, Luton equalised before West Ham did, and then West Ham went on to win. It was all just, it's one of these things that transpired to be not a good day for the Cherries. But, you know, there were glimpses of good things in the first half from us. Just quickly, here's the form table. Luton, of course, were right down there at the bottom, but that win takes them up here. Bournemouth, you know, still doing well because we are on a good run, of course. Alas, we are not quite at the heady heights that we were before the game at the Kenny. And look, it's It's a lovely stadium, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a really nice ground. We'll cover this in our away day
Yeah, of course.
show. And it's a shame. I mean, I think they've broken ground at Power Court with their brand new stadium.
Yeah.
That, you know, I've seen some of the designs and they look absolutely brilliant. But those, you know, you have to savor moments like that because we don't get many kind of chances to experience what it was like in League One and League Two these days. But that effectively is a stadium that enables you to do that whilst in the Premier League.
Yeah, every other club can because they come to our place. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's just really unique. As you say, we'll talk about it on the away day show in more detail. But yeah, it's just a really unique stadium. I really like everything about it. It makes for a better atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot on the game for them, so that always helps. But every time I go there, whatever the kind of context of the game, it always feels a bit louder because you're a bit closer. And yeah, really good. Obviously, we've got a decent relationship the two sides have, but there's still always, it's always good to have a bit of banter, a good bit of atmosphere, and it makes for a better day all in all, mate. Despite not having all of my friends present with me, still managed to enjoy the day. But I've seen your record now when you very rarely, but do miss a game, and it ain't great.
I know, that's right.
I was thinking of a couple, and then I thought back and I thought, oh, you wasn't at the Norwich 6-0 I went to either.
No, it
if you're not there, I'm not bothering.
Wasn't at the Palace 2-0 last season as well.
And the only one this season, there was one this season, wasn't there? Wolves home.
Oh my God. It's important that I get to games then, isn't it?
Yeah. Is this your way of trying to get like little free hospitality? If he's in hospitality next time you see him, you know what's happened.
Yeah. I just want to say, by the way, thank you, congratulations. Whoever sorted it from Luton Town Supporters Trust, I think the Bobbers Travel Club, obviously we've got this kind of relationship with them now that's been enhanced after what was a horrible time with Tom Lockyer. Glad that he's okay, of course. But obviously we paid for their coaches, but they also returned the favour. This is one of these things like
Should keep happening.
this could just keep on happening forever.
We had a little spell where we had it with Burton, if you remember, Burton Albion. You know, just quickly, I think I remember being at an away game, I think we got promoted there and they let us go on the pitch and all that sort of stuff. So then we paid for their travel in a cup game. But because, no disrespect, we feel like we're probably not going to play Burton much. Let's hope we keep Luton close. And yeah, especially with, you know, that we've got the little deduction.
Yeah, we've got that.
Real shame to see Rotherham get relegated. They were the other team, by the way. Yeah. Have you seen their record, by the way?
No.
Rotherham. 7 seasons in a row, either promoted or relegated. It's never boring being a Rotherham.
No, it's not.
But yeah, no, that was a really nice touch as well, mate. And like you say, it feels like we're both, you know, just being like, who could be nicer?
Time. Well, you know what? It reminds me of a Josh Widdicombe sketch where he gets a Christmas card and a present from his auntie, and then his mum encourages him to write a thank you letter, and then his auntie writes a thank you for the thank you letter. And he said, I've just been coaxed into being a pen pal for my auntie. Yeah.
It's good, that.
But that's effectively what's happening. What we're going to do for them next time, but what they did was give a free drink or a £5 voucher to anyone that travelled by coach.
Yeah, sure.
So it was a coffee and a pasty or a burger or whatever, or a pint. Which one would have you chosen, Tom?
Oh, that's a really tough call, actually. Really tough call. But, you know, knowing me, I probably would have, you know, had a nice little pasty or something.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of Luton fans' comments going, I know what you could do for next time, beat Brentford, because that's, I think, I was chatting to a few Luton fans, before and after the game.
They're well nice, aren't they?
Looking at our fixtures, that's the one, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I know they've still got to play Brentford, by the way, and obviously they've got to do their job, but they're hopeful that we can do Brentford for them and pull them into it even more.
It would be such a shame if they don't stay up, but
I think they will, you know.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? You know, looking at the bigger picture, I know I'm distraught by the fact that we lost 2-1. However, I don't know, in the grand scheme of things, as I've said to you many times, football never ends, mate.
Football never ends, doesn't matter.
Football never, there is going to be no winner of the football ever. It just carries on.
I think it's the current position we're in, which is, yes, we're all kind of half, like kind of joking about, oh, maybe Europe, you know, it still would have been a really hard ask if we had won this game. But I think now where it looks like we're just going to finish virtually where we are. But if we did go on a mad run and just miss out by a couple of points, then we'll go, maybe, if only we did beat Luton. So it's just in the context at the moment, and we all said it before the game, if we had to lose one, mate. You must know, I mean, we did the predictor. Yeah. And you must know exactly in what league position we're finishing in. I mean, I say that because on Friday, when we put our preview show out, you know, predicted the teams. You predicted Bournemouth, you predicted Luton, and you got a 100% record for both sides, 22 out of 22. And I think people made sure they told you that as well. Yeah, I was in the bar, and I just before the game, and I knew, because obviously I was checking Bournemouth, and I thought, I predicted that one right, actually, seeing the changes. And then I hadn't looked at Luton yet, and a Luton fan who obviously watched the podcast said to me, you got them all right today. I thought, bloody hell, I get Luton as well. I think because I remember saying in the preview, I said, I think they might bring Chon in, but play him wide, and they did. And I thought, oh, that's a nice little touch for me. If I'd done the subs, I wouldn't have got it, got to be honest, because I wasn't aware of a few little knocks. Obviously Adams was one that was disappointing for us, but yeah, don't go through the teams too much. Just go back and, I mean, if you're here, you would have watched the preview anyway, so you know what the teams were. And yeah, they weren't overly surprising. I mean, Luton, the injuries they've got at the moment, there's only a few things they could do anyway, to be honest.
They had 2 fewer players than us on the bench, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, and 2 of them goalkeepers there on the bench. Wow. So they're in a really, and what I will say for them is some of their subs made a good impact as well, which is really showing that with all them injuries, I think Berry come on done well, and I think Woodrow got the late assist. And they're both players on the bench and they're really light at the moment. So fair play to them.
I'm sorry, but on the preview, I think I might have said to you what would be the bigger fairy tale, Luton staying up this season or, when we stayed up. It's got to be Luton.
No.
I mean,
I'm not having that. No.
I mean, unbelievable.
No, it is unbelievable, yeah, but I'm not having that.
Right.
And I'm going to do it to Luton's credit, actually. It's almost like a backhanded compliment. Ours would be better because Luton are a bigger football club.
By the way, on the Friday when we recorded, I think they brought out these shirts, one of which you're wearing already.
Oh, buzzing, mate. Yeah, I ordered it straight away. I actually ordered it after we'd done the preview, like, in the beer garden, I think, because it just come out. And then I got home from the Luton game and I had a little delivery there and it was there. Beautiful. So I thought, as you'll find out, I won't be able to wear it for the next game. So I thought, chuck it on now. Why not? I like it. It's my favourite one. It's this one and the one you mentioned earlier, the Interman looking one.
Yeah.
Come out of the exact year.
That one needs to be the A1 windscreens. That one needs to come out
that's
because,
the next one,
that is the shirt.
Beautiful.
That is the shirt. But anyway, right, the game got underway. Yeah. Did we turn them around again? Because usually we shoot towards our fans in the second half. Oh, they usually face their end, but they didn't.
I think we did.
It's happening a lot recently in games.
It was a really interesting one as well because, it feels like every game now, whatever they start up, they just change. But it was interesting because I know Andoni mentioned it. The win was a big part. The win was unbelievable there. And it made sense why the game was a game of 2 halves. It definitely don't get me wrong, it's not everything, but it plays a part. And the first half, as we'll talk about, in transitions and stuff where we broke on them, it was quite easy to just go direct and we were in.
Yeah.
Whereas second half, it was holding up. And they were being able to do it a bit more. So whether Andoni went, look, let's try and win the first half. Let's try and do it. And we should have.
We really should have.
So could have worked. But, it wasn't to me. But the win definitely played a part in the game.
So I remember in your post-match video that you put on Back of the Net, you spoke about Neto and you said that it was almost like a precedent was set early doors when he punched out. Maybe the wind had something to do with that. It wasn't a bad punch.
I just remember at the time being a couple of minutes in and it looked like, obviously...
He should have claimed it.
It looked like the easiest catch in the world and he punched it. I couldn't believe he punched it. But it's what it is. I know my opinions on him. I mean, listen, he made a really good save second half as well. So it's one of them things. And like you say, maybe that's a fair point with the wind. And at the end of the day, nothing come of it. So I'd rather punch it than catch it and drop it. But it felt like an easy one to catch. And I was a little bit concerned with that because I always felt that them putting balls in the box would be their main way in.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you what it was early doors. The only way they seemed to threaten were shots from Ross Barkley outside the box.
Yeah.
That's all that happened, really.
He is good, by the way.
He is exceptional. He really is. But he always seemed to make a yard for himself. And every single shot he had, I think, went over the bar. But just showed that they could forge that bit of space to be able to attack us. But, when we were getting the ball, we were doing well with it as well, apart from when it got to the final third. Yeah. We created so many chances. We even hit the post a couple of times as well.
It's having his free kick, by the way.
Yeah.
What if I'm right behind that and you just see it coming, you think that's going to just bend in. But
and that was when Ross Barkley was uncharacteristically sloppy with the ball and then we won the ball back. I thought it was Christie won it back.
Yeah, I was going to say, while we're talking about Barkley, I thought it was a really interesting one where Christie was obviously trying to get close to him and be Christie. And there's a weird one because I felt the game started with, they were trying to get going through Barkley and Christie was really on him and he was, slipping over a few times. We were getting it off him, nicking it off him. And the more the game went on, I thought Christie struggled and Barkley was muscling him off and Christie was falling over. And
he seemed to slip up a lot, Christie.
Yeah, it was a real good battle between them two completely different players. And for parts I thought, Christie did a really good job here. And then on other parts I thought Barkley's got a real edge on him.
Yeah.
And actually, to be fair, one of their goal scorers, Clark, in the middle, had a really good battle with Lewis Cook as well. And I actually thought their midfield in the second half, Barkley and Clark really stepped up for him when they needed him. Yeah.
Yeah, so loads of chances. I remember Solanke being put through from a lovely ball from Cliver. His touch made it difficult to shoot first time, but he held it up, played it to Tav, who shot just wide of the post, and we also hit the post again through Cliver, who just dragged it a little bit maybe, but possibly should have done better as well. There was a shot from Cliver that brushed the top of the net. I think it got a deflection. Yeah. Chong fired over the bar. It was a game that was full of chances, but really, I thought that we dominated. And it sort of reminds me, do you remember yesterday when Man United played Liverpool? Liverpool were all over them. And I thought to myself, how on earth are they not 3-4-0 up here? And somehow they just didn't score for a long time. Yeah. And that was the same as us. The first half was actually quite frustrating. It always made me think, okay, are we going to rue this? And
yeah, I know what you mean. I did feel like if the game keeps going in that pattern, we will, we've proven it under Andoni. We do put the ball in the net. We have scored a lot of goals, a lot more than last season already. So I did kind of feel like, okay, it wasn't like we were missing sitters, like say, off the post and, a few little moments, and they defended it quite well.
It's probably how Andoni expected the game to go. Yeah. Because Luton, I think, had the bulk of possession that half, and the only chances we had were through the quick transition or the counter-attack. Yeah,
and I think we used that, but I thought equally they dealt with it relatively well. I thought their defensive shape was good. Yeah. We'll come on to it when we come on to kind of the changes and stuff and how that impacted the game. But yeah, I felt like, right, we're a better team than them. And I think my main thought of we'll still go on and win this was that I thought the only team that's got to start chasing, if it stays 0-0, is Luton. They need to win. So I thought, well, that's just going to give us more opportunities. And then when we take the lead, you think, well, that's definitely going to happen. But as I say, again, credit to Luton because they found a way to keep themselves in the game and really go, basically as soon as we scored, the game swung in their favour, which was strange.
Yeah, so we opened up the scoring. It was, we actually had a chance just before that, I think, where the ball's played over to Justin Cliver. I thought he's got to head it towards goal, but he almost wanted to play it back across.
He nearly looked good. He nearly played it back really well.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. You look at it again and go, he could have gone for that. But I did think he had a good game, so I don't want to...
But I think it was recycled pretty quickly with Adam Smith feeding Semenyo, who then played it to Tavernier, who just let the ball run across him and just hit it first time with his left boot. What a good goal that was, by the way. Strike from outside the box that silenced Kenilworth Road, and really good to see Marcus Tavernier score again. That was short-lived, wasn't it? Because he was off soon after that. But I thought to myself, this bodes in our favour, this bodes well.
Oh,
because, they need to come out at us, and as long as we deal with that correctly, we'll be absolutely fine. However, it didn't quite transpire like that. And over the subsequent sort of 10, 15 minutes, we made changes that changed the game. And we've waxed lyrical about Andoni and how well he's, been tactically astute at making changes that have positively affected the game. It's fair to say the ones he did make, as we look at the match timeline, if you're watching on YouTube, they didn't overly work. So Tavernier got withdrawn, replaced by Ouattara. But one of the bigger ones was Justin Cliver, who's fantastic for his pressing and all that kind of stuff. We don't know, whether he had a knock, he was fatigued, or there was an illness going around, of course. That could be the reason. But Phil Bill came on, and then also Semenyo was off as well for Unau. And you know what? Cliver and Semenyo, I thought, had really good games, and we just taken off our two big threats there.
It's a difficult one because, yes, they didn't work. What we'll say is, obviously, Tavernier's got an injury. Yeah. Just going back to him there, real shame because I thought best game of the year probably for Tavernier, and he does an injury. It's definitely going to see him out for a period. So really gutted for him. So he had to come off. Andoni said that Semenyo called to be taken off, sorry. Yeah. He felt tightness, so hopefully it's nothing too serious, but he's obviously didn't want to risk, so he had to take him off. Yeah. And Cliver always comes off around that time. And I remember, can't remember if it was an article or he said it in a press conference, when Sinisterra's come back with his recent injury, and he said, with Cine and with Justin, we've had to monitor them a lot this season because they've had a lot of hamstring injuries, etc., etc. And I think that's partly why Cliver comes off every game around 60, 70 minutes. So I think that's always pre-planned, because what always happens with Cliver, I don't know if you agree, always starts really well. Yeah. Or if he comes off the bench, it's always good. Always pressing unbelievable. And then when it gets to the second half, he stops doing it because I just think his legs go.
It's like me.
Yeah, a little bit. So even though it didn't work, what more could he have done? I think what's happened as well is we're in a luxurious position where it makes sense to go, I want to try a few things that could work. He definitely went down a route of going, you know what, can I get Unau in the team by trying Dom Solanke wide?
Do you reckon that's what it was?
Well, I mean, he never plays Dom Solanke wide. He tried it.
But why would he even try to play Dom Solanke wide? Why even try it?
Because we had no... So you think about it, Dango's obviously already on for Tav.
Yeah.
Who else could he play wide? Because Sinisterra's injured. There is no other wide options.
But it's not an option that he's looking to explore going forward. It's just someone to fill that gap just now.
But I wonder if he had come on and played really well, Unal, and Dom had done well off a wide position, he'd go, well, if Tav's out for a period of time, I know that's an option in the game.
Right.
I just think he thought, let's have a little try, which I'm not going to blame him on too much. But yeah, it just didn't work, mate. I think they deserve a bit of credit as well because they made a few changes. And I briefly mentioned, I thought Berry done really well for him when he come on. But it just didn't work. I think Ouattara in particular of late has shown that he could be really good off the bench for us. He wasn't this time around. Billing's shown even in the week that he's got a good performance in him. I thought he played well in the week. It didn't happen for him. And Unal, who showed that when he's come on in games, he's made an impact.
Didn't really do
was non-existent. So it was one of the things, just didn't happen for us at all, mate. We looked worse for the subs, and it looked like a matter of time before they did get that equaliser, and they took it well. A few little ricochets that went into their favour, but they took it well.
Yeah, they did. It was really frustrating, really, because when I looked at the stats at half time in terms of the shots, I think we shaded it. But I didn't realise it was as emphatic as it was in their favour in the second half. They absolutely peppered us. And look, Neto, to his credit,
one big save.
He kept us in the game at times. I think it was a shot from Carlton Morris.
Yes.
I think Kirkes gave the ball away stupidly, and then it fell to Morris, who almost used one of our defenders as a shield, so hit it low to Neto's right. And
it wasn't in the corner, but it was quite low. He had to get down.
Yeah, he had to get a strong hand on it. And it was one of these ones to which, to his credit, he didn't parry straight in front of him. It went to the right there, so that was good. So that I thought would be, good for Neto's confidence, but as it turns out, maybe not. But you know what? I just wanted to take a look at the average positions if you're looking at YouTube, and we'll take a look at Luton Town's. This is before their substitutions, and this is afterwards as well. A little bit more attacking impetus here. So we'll go to Bournemouth, and we were actually fairly deep throughout, and then when you actually add the substitutions on as well, not much change, but I just want to highlight the difference here between Marcus Tavernier. You've got Dango Ouattara, who replaces him. I think, positionally, that's not too bad. But then you compare Justin Kluivert, who's all over, and then look where Phil Billings' average position is. He's so deep. He's the third deepest player, and he's just playing in his own half. And it felt like a player that should be right up there supporting Dom or Unal or whoever it was, was just almost helping to invite pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I think Billings sometimes gets criticism for being lazy when he's not. And I think sometimes it's his running style and all that stuff. And you look at the heat maps after and go, Billing did cover a lot of ground. In this game, he come on and he was absolutely terrible. He was honestly terrible when he come on. If you're not sure, or you just seen highlights or whatever, if you look both their goals, which are not down to Billing, by the way, but if you look at both their goals, just watch Philip Billing for both their goals. It's abysmal. It's abysmal effort. Effort with quotation marks of trying to stop something from happening. Really, really poor. And that really frustrated me, for him to come on and look that laboured. He should be one of the freshest on the pitch, and he looked really bad when he come on. Like I say, none of the subs done well, but for both goals, Billing's got to do more, in my opinion. I thought it was really bad.
But we know that he's not a bad player.
No,
we've seen he's produced some incredibly important goals for us over the different seasons, even last season as well.
I even thought he played well in the last game where he started.
Yeah. So is it just a fact that maybe he just, like say David Brooks, that just hasn't really worked? Is he just another player that doesn't quite fit Andoni Iraola's system?
Feels a little bit like that, doesn't it? It does feel a bit like that he's not sure with his instructions sometimes, that, okay, so am I trying to get close to striker, or have I got to do the pressing here? He feels like you don't really know what he's got to do. But the simple fact of the matter is, when if you're a midfield player and they're knocking the ball around, you need to close them down. That doesn't matter about who your coach is. Close them down, do something. And just didn't happen for him. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't the game that suited Billing, because when he come on, we were up against it. Whereas he wants to be a bit more free, so that doesn't help. And it's not like Kluivert would have been amazing in that kind of situation either. But yeah, one of them things, unfortunately, he come on, wasn't very good. As I say, all the subs that come on made us weaker, which hasn't happened lately.
No, it hasn't.
I mean, Luton know that firsthand, because we turned the game around with some changes against them. So yeah, one of them things, and they deserve credit, as I say, for their changes. And I said I was going to mention it in terms of Rob Edwards and Luton's intelligence. The last time we played Luton, Semenyo absolutely destroyed them. I don't know if people noticed. He changed positionally to put Kabore up against him, who's their quickest player, very good defensively.
Good player.
And Semenyo, who was still causing them a few problems, Kabore was brilliant on him, absolutely brilliant on him. And they limited Semenyo, and they would have been looking at him because he was the man in the last game. So that's
so powerful.
That's very clever. And I wonder if it's almost worked in their favour in a weird way that we played them twice so close together that they know exactly what we've just done, and it's quite fresh in their minds because Semenyo was the threat and they dealt with him. We tried to do it on the other side. I'm sure you noticed that we played Tav on that right side because Doherty bombs on a lot and he was hoping that off the ball, Tav can kind of go to wing back, Smithy can come in, all that sort of stuff. But I just thought it was worth mentioning that Luton and Rob Edwards changed a few little tweaks in that, even with all the injuries, that really kind of addressed some of the issues there in the last game. So credit to him for that. And the match winner, Carlton Morris, by the way. Zabani, who is one of my favourite players and unbelievable defender.
By the way,
yeah, I know you're going to mention
that song. By the way, you know what? Sometimes there are certain songs that have been sung over the years or over the months or whatever that don't quite make it. But this one has, and now it's been retweeted to death. So hopefully that can translate to the next game at the Vitality Stadium. But that was absolutely quality, wasn't it?
Oh, it was brilliant, mate. And it was. We've got to thank Luton again because I think them sort of things happen more when you're in that sort of stadium. They're really close to you, they hear it, the crowd get going. But it was a nice little touch, and he was absolutely buzzing with it, and it's a great chant. But good to mention that because I love that song. But that's the point I was going to make. So Zabani, I don't know if you agree. So he's been colossal all season, and he obviously always have little moments, but he's been colossal. He's played every minute for us. I think if you asked him honestly, who's the striker that's caused you the most problems?
He'll say Carlton Morris.
He'll say Carlton Morris in both games.
By the way, he hit the post before he actually did score, and that was when he outmuscled Kirkes, and that's the third time that post had been hit, and I think Tig said that post has had more hits than Elvis, which is
good
very good.
Good but yeah, I was speaking to a Luton fan after who was saying, because obviously they're missing Adebayo, who we knows a top player. He scored in the game that got abandoned, didn't he? And they were saying like, Carlton Morris, it's just his goal for it. Like, honestly, if you're an opposition fan, though, looking at it, that centre-half Zabani, he's been unbelievable for us. He's kept people like Haaland quiet on occasion, really, really good. Carl Morris caused him the most problems. He's a nuisance all game. They highlighted him a bit on Match of the Day, didn't they? Which I thought he deserved.
Yeah, deservedly so.
Almost, I'm sure he's a nicer guy. Reminds me a little bit of when Watford come up and Troy Deeney. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but better.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but he's just such a nuisance, such a menace, and you just feel like he's a threat, and he deserves a lot of credit, I think, because he's gone under the radar a little bit for Luton. So I was pleased they highlighted that and not just kind of your Barclays and stuff. But yeah, and obviously ultimately he was the one that decided the game, and he showed a lot of emotion at the end as well, didn't he?
He did. Well, you know what? When we were 1-0 up, I couldn't help but think of that game when Luton played Forest. And I just thought the Luton would come back into it. Little did I think that they would get the winner.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd win it. No,
they did. And it was a shame. I don't know where the blame lies, mate. I've watched the goal numerous times.
Loads of things. I think
Zabani should have probably done better. It's almost like he was the wrong side of him. But there was obviously a communication error between him and Neto, because Neto wasn't that far away from being able to claim the ball, surely, but he didn't. His feet were planted. He almost took a little step forward, like he was going to go for it, and then quickly retreated to think, actually, no, I'm not. And obviously, Carlton Morris got the right side of Zabani and just caressed it into the net. And
I think it's a wider thing. So, put it this way, I'm right behind that goal, by the way. Yeah. And all of us on that row were screaming at Neto. I've watched it back and thought, if I wasn't behind that goal, would I think that's a massive error? No, because on the highlights you don't think it looks that bad. When I'm behind it looks horrific. So it's weird, isn't it? What your eyes could do. What I will say is it's because of a wider point. Because if that was if we had just signed a goalkeeper, and I wouldn't be saying that's a goalkeeper error. But so I almost feel like I'm being more critical because he's been frustrating me lately. I'm not arguing that. I agree with that. Okay. I think originally Billing should do a lot better at stopping the cross.
Yeah, well,
he's walking.
But originally before that, I think Christie gave it away.
You're right. Yeah, it was Christie. Christie gave it away. You're right. And then Billing doesn't do enough to close him down. Zabani gets out muscled by Morris. But it's because every single bloody game, I go to every single game, I'm behind a goal. The man is glued to his goal line. It's doing my head in.
We've seen that so many times before.
Whether it's an obvious error or not, when you see it, because I'm sure there's Luton fans watching this video thinking, I didn't think their goalie did anything wrong for that goal.
No.
What you got to appreciate, or my personal opinion is, he's glued to his line every single game. So it's just another question mark. And he looked annoyed with himself, which made me think, okay, I think he knows. He was really annoyed. I've said this so many times. I have never said that Neto don't make good saves, because he made another good one in the game. He's made some really good saves this season. Because I don't want to be too harsh, but I'd like to think a Premier League goalkeeper who's your captain, who's experienced, who's been at Barcelona, should make good saves in football matches.
Well, that's what goalkeepers should do anyway, right?
But the other things that I think make you a top goalkeeper is being commanding, is taking responsibility. And he's also wearing that armband, by the way. He's definitely one of the highest paid. And I've never seen him. I say never seen him. Obviously, he would have done it before. But very rare. It's a shock if a ball comes in, he comes out and catches it. I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
That should be what your bread and butter. Yeah. And it's just really frustrating me that I feel for. I remember saying it when Mep's come in the team for a bit and we conceded some goals. I said, I feel so sorry for him because statistically it looks like he's come in, but you can't have that much confidence in him. And if this was a young goalkeeper, people would be saying, it's because he's not experienced enough. He's not.
Yeah, no, he's gained the experience.
Do I think Travers is the answer? Probably not. I don't think. But equally, I don't really know because I haven't really seen him.
But he's got time to learn, whereas, Neto's not.
I think
that he's going to be learning much.
There's a reason why he's mid-30s and never really been a number one before, in my opinion. It annoys me because I quite like him. I like his celebrations. He's clearly, I've said this a million times, there's clearly a reason he's captain. He's clearly good in the dressing room, speaks all the languages, blah, blah, blah. And I love it when I think the Burnley game where he had a good game and he kind of proves you wrong and stuff. But even now, and this is probably overly critical, right? Even now, because I actually think, looking at them, I don't know if you've seen the selection of saves of the month.
Yes.
I think Neto's is probably the best save, so we could win that.
Burnley.
Yeah, I think that's actually our best chance of winning one of them awards, which would be ironic. I've seen him that much that I think, has he made that save because his positioning's wrong? And that sounds really bad.
Oh, no, I know what you're saying.
But I feel like he's only saved that because he's behind his line. Yeah. And I never would have said that about any other goalkeeper. It's because I see him so often, I just can't get it round. Every time he does something, I think, yeah, but could he have caught that? Or, do you know what I mean? And I don't want to be like that with my goalkeeper and captain, but listen, I don't think the reason we've lost this game is bloody Neto. Yeah. And I don't think the reason that ball goes in the net is Neto. There's a lot of things that happened. Unfortunately, if you're having a bad spell, listen, when Tav was having a bad spell, everything he did was highlighted. Yeah. And that's what happens when you're on a bad run. So, yeah, it's probably being overly highlighted now because he's been frustrating me of late. But ultimately, it hasn't cost us too many times on this occasion.
Thankfully.
And we lost the game, unfortunately, yeah.
So let's take a look at the stats and compare the first half there, where we registered a number of shots, really. Luton only registered 4 there. And then look at that, 19 shots to 8. And Bournemouth have unfortunately not closed in on West Ham, who picked up a win at Wolves. Apparently VAR controversy in that one.
Don't know. I saw someone, I think it was Gary Chapman who watched the channel, say exactly what I wanted to say on Twitter X when it was O'Neill moaning after the games, going, he kept us up, thank you, Gary, but oh my God, I couldn't cope with him being my manager. He's a victim every play. I looked at all the things online and I was thinking, oh God, Wolves have been done again. And don't get me wrong, I think that's really harsh. They disallowed a goal at the end.
You're off on one today. I like this Tom Jordan.
I just can't bother anymore. There was I don't know, have you seen the goal that got disallowed for Wolves last minute of the game? Yeah. It's very harsh and I would be moaning because it's something to do with a player being offside in front of Fabianski. It's all a load of rubbish. But I also looked at it and went, but West Ham had a goal disallowed, which I thought was harsh. Yeah. And then the penalty was a little bit, the guy's just a victim. And I think when you watch an interview like that, I think neutrals that don't really get why Bournemouth get annoyed with him, get it a bit more.
Yeah, mate.
But yeah, listen, they were unlucky to lose the game, but whatever really. I'm still enjoying what we're doing at the moment. I didn't think we were great, but we still show good moments, and I still think we'll pick up. I saw a few people kind of saying, "Oh, will we get 5 more points in the season?" No chance. I think we'll get a lot more than that.
So how do you feel now? I mean, Europe's out of the equation, is it?
It is until we beat Man United. Because when we beat Man United, I'm turning to you saying, hang on.
It would be so Bournemouth to do that though.
I have no doubt we'll beat Man United.
Really?
No doubt.
I mean, they looked absolutely dreadful though against Liverpool and yet somehow clawed a point. I'm
trying to say it before the game because I don't want it to look like I'm just saying it because hindsight's a wonderful thing if we do beat them. So I'm sure I could be completely wrong. Man, you have got bloody good footballers and they could catch us and Rashford and Garnacho could kill us off.
Yeah.
Just every time I watch them, I just think it suits us so much because they're so open.
Yeah, they are.
And I just think it suits the way we play. And it did at Old Trafford. Let's be honest, at Old Trafford, they're knocking it around and we just went bang. So, yeah, I mean, you never know with football, obviously. But I'm really confident about it. And I think I said prior to this one, when we did the predictor, I said, well, I think Luton will be a harder game than Man United. And I did think we'd lose this game. And yeah, with the injury, I just want to say, because there will be Luton fans, with the injuries they've got, massive credit to them, because we've done it in the preview. The list of injuries they've got and the fact they're still in it, in it.
They've got Man City next time,
Yeah,
which
right,
obviously is a write-off. But there are some
It's their
games.
home games, isn't it? I was going to quickly look. I know they've got Brentford at home, but I think they should be delighted that their most winnable games are at home because there's something about them at home. So yeah, Brentford at home, Everton at home, which is Fulham at home.
I mean, those are huge games.
I even think Wolves and West Ham away is not too bad.
What do you think the points total that because I think the lowest points total was like 34 or something.
Right, okay. I'm trying to look. So Luton on 25, aren't they?
I think it's gonna be less than that this year. I think it might be like 30, 32.
I think they've just got to be looking at going, them 3 home games, we win them all, we'll stay up.
Yeah.
And I think they can win all them games. I mean, I think that's almost... Because when people say, what's your perfect fixture? And people would always say, well, if you've got 3 home games, your perfect fixtures are playing the 3 teams at the bottom. I always disagree because some of them are scrapping.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to play teams like us at the moment. I think Brentford home, 6-pointer, Everton home and Fulham home is perfect because last game of the season against Fulham, just playing for nothing, mate.
If they do it, so at the expense of who then? Because in our Forest.
Yeah, Forest. I think Brentford will have enough. I'm hoping I tell you what, as much as I want it to be Forest, how funny would it be if it's Brentford? Because Ivan Toney comes back. I'm back in the English squad.
Yeah,
they get worse.
Sky Sports are creaming over his inclusion.
How could he come back from a ban, make them worse, get them relegated, and then go to the Euros? It'd be absolutely madness.
Well, look, if it is Forest, I mean, there've been some tweets that have been going about this weekend. So this is one guy. It's on my bucket list to one day see us lose a match that means nothing to us, which in turn directly results in Bournemouth being relegated. They've ruined my life for far too long, and I pray for their downfall.
Bloody yeah, that's what a little bit of wind does. That all started, didn't it?
What a guy.
Look, I'm sorry, mate. Look, we actually, to be fair, if we're talking about results and wanting to do well as a football club, we should want you to stay up because we bloody never lose at your place.
No, we don't.
Absolute playground.
I genuinely can't remember the last time they've beaten us. It's been a long time ago.
We always go there and win, so I don't know why we would. Yeah.
And then Michael says, Bournemouth, if we stay up, we will remember today. It could be you in our situation next season. Karma can come round nice and quick sometimes. Why are they all taking it so personally? And also, the funniest thing about this whole Luton Bournemouth love story is we get more fans at home than both of their clubs combined. Well done.
Really,
congratulations.
Big up for that. That's impressive. That's what football's all about. And you get the most fans in the stadium, and that's what takes you higher. It's nothing to do with what you're doing on the football pitch.
Yeah, have that league table prepared because we're bottom. Then it's Luton. After that, what, Burnley maybe?
Oh yeah, I don't know, mate. But no, Forest can. Yeah, if they go down and join all them big clubs, your Leeds and you got Birmingham, you got some big clubs down there. So go and enjoy it.
Nothing to do with football on the pitch or
I like to
spending
keep
money.
trying to say, just in case he's watching, that I do like Dave.
I love Dave.
I actually quite like Forest on the away day.
Yeah.
It's just them little tweets that you go, oh, you know what, stuff.
But like even Dave himself knows that some Forest fans let their club down.
I don't
even on
care.
YouTube.
And what I will say is about the bigger club thing, you're always going to probably get more annoying people if you've got more fans. So I do get that. But listen, I like Luton. There's nothing wrong with that. I liked them before the season. I've always liked Luton. And I love them to stay up. If it's, Forest, Brentford, I don't really care. But I love Luton to stay up. It'd be great. And what's nice is, unlike you Forest fans, we can choose who we want to stay up because we ain't going nowhere. There's a kind of vicarious happiness you get through watching Luton do well, even though we've dropped points there. It would be really satisfying for football, actually. I think as well for the teams that are maybe flirting with this in the Championship right now, like in the playoffs, or ones that are just outside it, that might be able to get into it. Luton Town and Bournemouth the first time around, will be evidence that, the smaller teams can survive, but also thrive in the Premier League. And who knows
how, they could kick on from this as well. They really
you
could.
don't want the 3 teams that come up to go straight back down, and then the 3 teams went down and just switch again.
Brentford did it the first time, and they absolutely thrived.
Swansea, I remember having a good run.
But Brentford's time's probably about up now.
Yeah, let's get rid of them. Thomas still my head in. It's your time's up.
It's time's up.
Yeah, and listen, if we can do the same in the Championship, why not? Let's keep Southampton and Leeds in there, mate. Let's let them play Forest. Let's have some big games for Sky in the Championship, So come on, Ipswich, sort yourselves out. Jesus, what are they doing yesterday?
By the way, I'm very unhappy with the Arsenal game being moved to a 12:30. And also, our favourite pub?
Yeah.
It opens at 11, so that's no good, is it?
What, the Ryan Fredericks?
No, they're fullback, yeah. Yes.
By the way, talking about fullbacks, Jack Stacey was amazing for me.
Chris from TNC was waxing lyrical about him.
Yeah,
so, well done.
To mention that. But that's really annoying. I think Brentford at home is the only 3 o'clock Saturday we got left.
Wow.
It's mad, isn't it, really? Just crazy. But that's what happens when you're a big football club and you get on the TV and we have to get used to this, mate. Jesus.
Right, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're a subscriber to YouTube, there'll be plenty of videos coming this week, including some away day guides to catch up on. But the next time me and Tom will be together previewing a Cherries game will be at the QP, of course, where it's Manchester United at home. And like you say, on the Saturday, we might get suited and booted for it, yeah?
Yeah, why not? Sounds like a good plan to me, mate.
I'm the Cherries, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you later.
You Reds.
How many Forest subscribers did we lose? Jesus Christ. I love Forest away.
Yeah.